It's the call you make to take control of your health.
Good morning, Princeton Longevity Center.
When you call Princeton Longevity Center, the region's leading center for preventive medicine, preventing heart attacks, finding cancers before they spread. Princeton Longevity Center not only helps you prevent life-threatening illnesses, they can help you reduce the anxiety that comes from just not knowing enough about your health.
It's a very in-depth physical.
When you call, a coordinator will tell you about a one-day comprehensive exam.
We do have even your blood tests back the same day.
Princeton Longevity Center is the region's only preventive medicine center with 64-slice CT scan. The technology Time magazine says is the most accurate test for early detection of cardiovascular risk.
But we can also do virtual colonoscopy with our scanner.
Schedule your appointment today. Call 888-8000-PLC or PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
And we do it all in one day.
888-8000-PLC.
CBS News Brief. After getting hit with heavy rain, the worst is over for the Big Island, Hawaii, with the passing of Hurricane Hone. Hawaii County Mayor Mitch Roth.
Bus cancellation is going to be going through today. Ponding and things happening on our roadways. We also have power outages, and we have some water issues as well.
High-level talks over a Gaza ceasefire have paused, but White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says lower-level talks will continue searching for a deal.
It is incumbent on all parties in the region to work towards de-escalation and stability.
Seattle-Tacoma International Airport confirms that the internet and web outage hitting the airport is a cyber attack.
They have to manually enter everybody's information rather than the whole universal system, so it's frustrating.
Traveler Maria Price, who is traveling with her daughter. CBS News Brief. I'm Michael Toscano.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut's home for news, traffic, weather, and the Mets. This is WCBS 880 News. You're listening to WCBS 880 Magazine.
I came across this when I was a kid in Jersey, and I was obsessed with WCBS. It's kind of amazing that they actually took me in after I stalked the station for so many years.
Well, you were the suburban stringer even at age what?
I was, I think, 14 when I called in because it started snowing out in Califon, New Jersey, where I lived. And I called the radio station and couldn't believe it when they put the report on the air. And I'm going to play. I actually recorded it, of course I did. And if you listen carefully, you can hear me shouting down to Mom saying, "I'm recording this, Mom."
It's 23 and a half minutes before 8 o'clock. Let's go to the Weather Center about the snow. Dr. Bob Harris.
Snow on the way. Just had a listener report from Hunterdon County. That's around Clinton and Flemington, New Jersey. Starting the snow there. It's heading our way. Will arrive in the immediate New York area within the next couple of hours. And snow will continue this afternoon. The possibility of an inch or two with very slippery roads by this evening's rush hour. High today, 20 to 25 degrees. Snow continuing tonight. Maybe we'll add another inch or two.
That's me yelling down the stairs to Mom.
WCBS. Skies are cloudy. The wind northeast at 8 miles an hour. We're checking in now with Neil Bush in our WCBS helicopter. Any more Virga that you've been flying through, sir? Hello, Neil.
Okay, Bob, having just a little bit of trouble here with my AM signal. I know you switched to me, so let me just get that right down.
The technical difficulties over the years.
Hi, it's Catherine Chaffee. The station has been a major part of my life. I cut my teeth in that newsroom. It's been a long time since I was on the air, but the station has remained a constant pillar for me, a place that embodies the highest level of journalistic integrity. A special thank you to Tim Scheld and Chris Quimby for hiring me, and to Paul Wayne, Steve, Marla, Peter, Sean, and the late French Schneider for teaching me how to report and write, but also for teaching me about humanity. Lisa Chankovich, thank you for being a great friend and the best producer. I'm really going to miss hearing your voices every day.
She mentioned Chris Quimby. I had a Chris Quimby dream, Paul.
You were telling me this, and you put it, on your phone? You wrote it down on your phone?
I wrote it down. I guess I might as well tell the story now.
We have time now. Sure.
Let's see, do I have it handy here?
Welcome to the Freud part of the show.
Yeah, honestly, I had this. You know what? I got to find it. I'm actually not prepared, and that's my own fault for bringing it up and not being prepared to talk about it. But it's the end of WCBS, as we know. Sunday night is when we hand it over to ESPN. But I think I had a premonition, and this was back a year ago. It was a year ago.
You were on vacation or something, or no?
I don't know. It was June of 2023.
Well, you look for that. I want to say.
I got it here. Hold on.
You have it here.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay, all right. Again, we're treading water. We never do that.
It's just weird, and I had to bring this up because I wrote this down. Here's my dream. And Chris Quimby was our manager at the time, even though what I'm describing here, BlackRock, predates her. It doesn't really matter because it's a dream. Mm-hmm. It's 4 a.m. at WCBS, and we're preparing the morning newscast. The scene is BlackRock. The overnight anchor is toiling away. The newsroom is unusually busy with faces we don't know. Chris Quimby is there looking sullen. The systems aren't working. Suddenly, I hear a collective groan as 4 men at each big 16th floor newsroom window pull black curtains across the glass. I look to the studio, the lights are turned out, and the board is dark. WCBS is no more. I stand there in shock. Martin Untroib, sees my face, walks over and hugs me. My first impulse is to quietly smile. Yes, severance! Then I think of all the people losing jobs. Then the emotion hits me. I hold back tears as I look at the spot where the teletype machines were years ago, and I think of my first time there in 1978 when Dad drove me in for a tour.
Yeah.
I tell Martin the story about how Ben Farnsworth was in the studio that morning subbing for Jim Donnelly. This part is true. This really happened. The memories of that visit with Dad, those years in that same spot, the thread that has been woven through my life, makes me realize how much a part of me this has been. Sad only scratches the surface. But grateful, too, Paul. Exceedingly grateful. Not only to have worked with you,
thank you,
and all the people here at WCBS and the amazing listeners, but to have the opportunity to sit here with you right now and talk about it and have a farewell, which is not something that very often happens in this business.
As I said earlier, I don't think we would be doing this without your work and the archives that you have kept for WCBS. Some of them hilarious, like the 14-year-old when they mentioned the snowing in New Jersey, the report that you had called in, and you recorded it and you're yelling in the background. I got it on tape.
I was so proud.
I think this many people who have worked here have the memory of hearing WCBS as a child. And the memory that I have was that the station sounded important.
Yes.
More than any other station on the dial.
WOR sounded official but stuffy.
Well,
this station was important but friendly.
You can sound official and you can sound important, and WCBS, I think, chose the right way.
WCBS 880 Magazine.
Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving you the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, we'll beat anybody's price. Other dealers, we beat them. Warehouse clubs, we beat them. Online sites, we beat them all every day. So remember, for the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard. Time for WCBS Traffic and Weather Together.
That overturned car is still there on the Southern State moving westbound right around the Meadowbrook State Parkway. You're jammed up from around New Bridge Road. Jerusalem Road would be a good choice. As we move to Queens on the southbound Cross Island at 160th Street, all lanes are subject to closure with a crash. In the Bronx, a two-car hit on the westbound Cross Bronx before the Grand Concourse. Once you get to the George, you've got a good ride. Coming inbound on the George, 20 minutes. Moving to Westchester, you've got a truck hitting the bridge Bridge on the northbound Hutch at King Street, and that's causing problems with delays. At least one lane is getting by. And also on the Hutch moving southbound in White Plains, right before North Street, a crash takes a lane of traffic. And New Jersey Transit is offering free rides on all modes of transportation starting tomorrow, Monday, and going all the way through September the 2nd as a thank you. I'm Susan Browning in the WCBS Traffic Center.
Most places are going to be dry here as we head through the evening. Pretty nice evening across the Tri-State area. And for tomorrow, partly sunny, warm, maybe an afternoon or evening thunderstorm. Certainly that's probably more widespread across Connecticut. Tomorrow 85, then mostly clear tomorrow night down to 69. Very warm Tuesday up to 88. And hot and steamy Wednesday. A thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening up to 93. And not as high for Thursday.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Select's premium package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home. All done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge. Oh, you people are wonderful. Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/try. That's JABRA Enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Your roof is the biggest layer of protection your home offers.
Protect your roof with GAF Timberline HDZ shingles from Riverhead Building Supply.
Visit a store to explore colors, features, and warranty details, and learn about the technologies developed to help protect your roof from wind and blue-green algae staining.
Timberline is America's #1 selling shingle brand, delivering the look homeowners love.
Find the complete GAF roofing system at all Riverhead Building Supply locations and at rbscorp.com.
WCBS 880 will cease operations on Monday. It has been an honor to deliver your news, weather, and traffic, and to be a part of your lives for nearly 6 decades. Beginning Monday, we invite you to turn to 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. This is WCBS 880 News. You're listening to WCBS 880 Magazine.
So we've seen a couple of articles recently that jorts, jeans cut off just above the knees, have become hip again this summer. Well, after seeing that, we just had to check in with Dr. Fashion, Andrew Bernstein, Associate Professor of Fashion Marketing and Management at Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida. Dr. Fashion, good to talk to you again. Is this true? Are jorts actually in now?
Guess what, Michael? Jorts are here, and they're probably here to stay.
Really?
I mean, we're going from uncool to trendy. And jorts were once considered unfashionable and associated with a dad style. Remember those sort of dad jeans back in the 60s and 70s, right. Kind of the aesthetic, and having made a surprising comeback this summer. The styles evolved from a symbol of tackiness, okay, to embodiment of the carefree brat summer movement. Remember that brat summer movement that everybody was kind of doing this last year or so? And they're gaining traction on runways, pop culture, social media, couture, ready-to-wear, everybody, guys, girls, unisex. It's all about this kind of trend. And, you know, we can rhyme it. We can say shorts. We can say jorts. Some people say snorts. Whatever you want to say, jeans are back, but they are shorter. You know, one or two things, Michael, is really interesting. Then thinking about this, one of the reasons that they're so popular, you know, jeans are denim, they're kind of sturdy. But guess what? Unlike pants and trousers and culottes, certainly for a woman and a guy, you can stick your cell phone in the back and you don't have to worry about falling it off, and you can find it. And that's certainly a great trend for people carrying their phones and having pockets. So that's one of the big things that we see. Also, sustainability is so important as well.
Why? I mean, I guess you mentioned one thing, you know, not the better pocket to keep your phone in, but why do you think they're back? What brought them back?
Well, I think one of the reasons for a big comeback is really the reemergence of Y2K. Remember that?
Sure.
The trend was particularly popular among Gen Z. Remember Gen Z, Gen Airs, they're really leading this trend for fashion, social media. And they are embracing the nostalgia of the early 1990s, including low-rise jeans and other denim staples like jorts. So they're the ones making it popular. Remember, they're easy to get into and whatever. And remember, too, Michael, everybody with those stonewashed jeans, and you see maybe even your kids with the jeans with all the cuts and holes. You know what a lot of people are doing now? They're just taking the scissors, cutting off that lower leg, and guess what you have?
Yeah,
jorts. Meat.
Well,
Jorts.
I was going to ask you, is it okay to do that, or do you have to stick with the...
Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone?
Oh, boy. It's Wayne Cabot as we say goodbye. This is it. We're just minutes away. And I want to take these last few minutes to be quiet, which is something Paul Murnane has wished for a very long time. Paul, you will get your wish for the next few minutes as I play the sounds of WCBS through the years. You ready? 1960s, the headline sound. CBS Network Alert. 1970s, the chopper. Headline stories. WCBS Bulletin. WCBS Special. News 88 Business. News 88 Update. Here's everyone's favorite. We never should have stopped playing these. We should have kept paying Steve Carman as much as he wanted. Everyone remembers and loves News Is. From the guy who composed so many great themes, we'll start with the real big one. Yeah, he was the guy behind I Love New York. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Sooner or later, you'll own Generals. Trust the Midas touch. And have you ever heard the jingle? Nationwide is on your side? And here's what my friend Steve Carman did for us. 1979.
News is WCBS New York. Sports is WCBS New York. Where it's at and where it's gonna be is WCBS New York. No matter where the news is made, we're here to tell it best. WCBS New York. WCBS New York. All news, more news. Day and night around the clock, it's your news. You get it all when you set you down to All News 88. WCBS New York. WCBS New York.
1989. This one didn't last very long. Headlines. Traffic. WCBS News Time, 3:15. Time for News 88 Sports. And the big sports story today involves Kevin McReynolds, who has extended his lease at Shea Stadium in a very big way. Howard Cannon has more about that.
It was supposed to be Kevin McReynolds' day, a 3-year
Now
contract.
the 90s, more than just the headlines. Traffic. The headlines approaching CBS News on the hour.
More than just a headline. WCBS News Radio 88.
CBS News. I'm Mike Pulsifer.
More than just a headline.
The 2000s.
News, traffic, and weather for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. We are
are News Radio, WCBS 880.
Big theme music at the top of the hour. This just in. Network rejoin.
Live from the CBS Hudson Square Broadcast Center in Manhattan, we are News Radio, WCBS HD and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. Into the WCBS newsroom.
Now, CBS top of the hour, 60s to today.
CBS Radio Net Alert Bulletin.
The Chirp. CBS Radio Special Report. CBS Radio Sports.
This is Win Elliott for CBS Radio Sports Central USA. Every referee signal on a playing field has a special meaning, and now on CBS Radio, we've got a new set of signals that means great listening on this station. Our sports signature sounds like this. It means My Sports Central USA.
This is Douglas Edwards. CBS News on the Hour is the sound of news in the making. And this sound introduces our comprehensive news coverage. Distinctively CBS Radio, signaling CBS News. Listen for the signature. And you'll be listening to CBS News on CBS Radio, where what you want to know comes first.
Good morning. This is Steve Porter welcoming you to WCBS News Radio 88. Good morning. This is Charles Osgood, News Radio 88.
Tune to the best news source around, WCBS News Radio 88. Local and regional developments coming right up. This is Bill Fayen. It's 5 minutes past 4 o'clock.
34 degrees, the winds east-southeast at 10 to 18 miles per hour.
You know him, don't you? That's Bob Harris.
Do you know me? Many people in the West Village.
News 88 WCBS in New York, 27th of November, a Monday, 36 degrees, 5:30. The news on us, headlines. A lot of snow on us today. Season's first snarls traffic.
More tones will follow. The final loudest one marks the exact time.
We've been marking time for a lifetime, and now it's over.
It's midnight.
Power of that amazing signal there, 50,000 watts pulsating out, will continue as these names go away. We take these last minutes to celebrate our relationship, yours and mine, and Paul's, and Bridget's, and Michael, and Steve, and Tanya, and Levon, and on, to Pat's, Parson, Farnack, Carol, Jeff Kaplan, Deborah Rodriguez, Gary Moore, Ben Farnsworth, Jim Donnelly, Lou Adler, Charles Osgood, Steve Porter, Harvey Hauptman, Rita Sands, Tom Franklin, Bill Fayen, Bob Glenn, John Wydra, Palmer Payne, Alan Shaw, Ralph Howard, Greg Baker, Bob Gibson, Jack Welby, Harley Carnes, Therese Crowley, Vicki Allen, John Metaxas, Jim Taylor, John Miller, John Lesher, Joe Avalar, Anita Bonita, Kathy Carpin, B.J. Fennell, I remember you, B.J., Mitch Levy, nicest guy in the world, Mike Sugarman, Janice Wright,
Steve Knight, Karen Riegel, Mary Alice Williams, Ed Crane, Maria Garcia, Cameron Swayze, Bud Mishkin, Suzanne Colucci, Ashok Bala, Bill Whitney, Dick Reeves, Rich Lamb, Peter Haskell, Marla Diamond, Sean Adams, Fran Schneido, Alex Silverman, Ellen Mitchell, Sophia Hall, Mac Rosenberg, Mike Zirinax, Bob Vosberg, Jeff Grant, Lisa Fantino, Frank Cipolla, Doug Spiro, Darlene Pamales, Linda Zoman, Steve Malave, Mike Smeltz, Sean Colfard, a.k.a. Michael Cole, Catherine Chaffee, Bob Brown, Eric Scott, Gordon Deal, Kelly Waldron, Dimas Indio, Jerry Knackman, Jane Tillman Irving, Mary Gay Taylor, Fred Fishkin, Walt Wheeler, Ed Bradley, Tim Sheld, and the renowned reporters for whom awards are named and still handed out. Art Athens, Steve Flanders, Edward R. Murrow, Lou Timolot, Tom Salat, Terry Raskin, Joe Nolan, Chris Majette, Jim Feldman, Andre Farrow, Tom O'Hanlon, Russ Meyer, Lori Jordan, Lou Adams, Debbie Mazzella, Neil Bush, Tom Kaminsky, Dr. Just Plain Bob Harris, Norm McDonald, Bill Corbell, Gordon Barnes, Todd Glickman, Craig Allen, Brad Heller, Jared Max, Gordon Damer, Kevin Burkhardt, Kevin Connors, Bill Daughtry, Bill Schweitzer, Rich Ackerman, Howie Carpin, Tommy Ty, Todd Ant, Gary Stanley, Howard Cannon, Spencer Ross, Barry Landers, Howie Rose, Len Berman, Pat Summerall, Ed Ingalls, Gordon Williams, Ray Hoffman, Dean Shepard, Ken Pruitt, Joe Connolly, the CBS Radio Network, and its legions of correspondents, reporters, anchors, and commentators. Harry Reisner, Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite. The Osgood File. Now, what I did there was probably a huge mistake, because these are the people just off the top of my head. If I forgot you, I didn't forget you. This is all just happening so fast. But a special nod to one man who was a producer, a writer, reporter, and anchor over the years, and who had and has CBS in his blood, who maintains the most thorough and loving website of WCBS News Radio. That's a man I'm proud to call my friend, Don Swaim. And thanks to all of his contributors, most notably John Landers, on the WCBS News Radio 88 Appreciation site. Go to it. It's amazing. Now, if we had hours, not just minutes left, we would name all the people you've never heard on the air, except in the credits, supporting those of us on the air and supporting journalism. The legions of people behind the scenes writing, producing, engineering are an innumerable and invaluable part of our history. Wicked smart people showing up at all hours, weekends, Thanksgiving, Christmas, so that whenever you turned on 880, you were closer to your world. The WCBS passion and pride spilled into a sales force that revered these call letters and the CBS legacy every bit as much as you and I do. Advocates for our craft who showed advertisers how we, the audience, are smart, discerning, engaging, and caring. Caring. We have given our advertising dollars and our charitable dollars through so many hungerthons, for example. You held us to a high standard and let us know when we didn't hit the mark. All of us here knew that our audience is engaged and smart, and we knew to treat our audience with the respect that a well-informed, well-educated news consumer deserves. That's right, deserves. Our news desert is getting bigger and drier. And just like we should get a second medical opinion, we need to seek out more and more varied news sources that we trust, because getting your information without the bias and brainwashing in one place has given way to a fight to stay informed. With each closing newspaper, radio newsroom, TV newsroom, magazine, and now even digital news operations, the country we love is diminished. So as we leave the news ecosystem after 57 years of all news and 100 years of service on New York radio, we implore you to find that next trusted source. Use it, support it, in word and deed. It is the most patriotic thing you can do, and the most satisfying. To paraphrase a CBS News legend, good night and good luck. You will ask, why does this radio station mean so much? Why is the reaction the way it is? And I really can't speak for others. I can speak for myself. My parents split when I was 11. We split Christmas, and when I was at Dad's house, he gave me a clock. And this one had a beam at the top that shined the time onto the ceiling. I wanted to make sure it was set correctly, so I went to the station I heard in the back of the car, WCBS, to make sure the time was exactly right. And I listened and listened, and before long, I became hooked as a 12, 13-year-old. When I was 14, my dad drove me to the radio station in New York City during morning rush hour traffic. And he introduced me to the place I'm now signing off in 2024. Ray Martell, here's your last request. Chris Olivero, Ben Meverek, Ivan Lee, our bosses pushed for and got the authority to let us have our goodbyes, to have a last show. That's something very rare. I thank them for that. And I thank my dad for driving me into New York City in 1978. Parents, you never know what impact these random acts of love and attention may have on your children. I'm Wayne Cabot, and for the final time, this is WCBS, New York.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Puts their lead over the Braves in the NL East to 6 after Atlanta's loss to Washington. The Orioles and Astros played in Sunday Night Baseball. Houston salvaged the split of the 4-game series in Baltimore, winning by a count of 6-3. The Orioles now game and a half back of the Yankees. That's because Aaron Judge hit his 50th and 51st home runs of the year as the Yankees rolled past the Rockies 10-3. The Diamondbacks have now won 6 in a row. They finished off a sweep of the White Sox with a 7-5 victory. Arizona sits atop the wild card race but remains 3 back of the first place Dodgers in the NL West. LA beat Tampa 3-1. Lake Mary, Florida is Little League World Series champion. They do in dramatic fashion, falling behind but coming back to win 2-1 in 8 innings.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday, college football is underway, and I'm going to tell you who the biggest threat is to Ohio State and Georgia. It's on Sportsman, like 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Coming up Monday morning at 6 o'clock on DPH Roy and Rothenberg, we break down the Jets and Giants preseason, the Yankees and the Mets as well. It's Monday at 6 on ESPN.
This is Game Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
To Game Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80. Harrison Stanford and Jonathan Zaslow with you. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. If you want to tap in with us throughout the course of the night, 1-888-729-3776, 1-888-SAY-ESPN. And Week 0 has come to a close. We saw a top 25 defeat, Georgia Tech getting a last-second field goal to take down number 10, which we don't expect to be number 10 anymore, Florida State. Grace Raynor joining us now, the athletic college football writer. Grace, my question to you, is this more about Florida State or is this more about Georgia Tech? Could we actually see Georgia Tech actually be a factor when it comes down to winning the ACC championship or getting to the college football playoff?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Georgia Tech was better than we all expected, and Florida State was maybe a little bit worse, and I'm not sure that we're ready to declare Georgia Tech the kings of the ACC. They'll still have to go through Miami, Clemson. I'm sure they're going to have something to say in the ACC race. But this is a really good Georgia Tech team, and I think they do deserve their flowers. I mean, King played really well. This is an offensive line that returned 4 of their 5 starters and then brought in a really experienced right guard in Keelan Rutledge from Middle Tennessee. They've got the pieces that they need, I think, to really compete. They do have a gauntlet of a schedule. And then Florida State, we all thought that they were going to be the favorites to win the ACC. We figured they'd just kind of reload. And they've got some questions to answer. This was a game that went lopsided for them, and I think we have to kind of recalibrate what our expectations are for them in the conference race. But I think it's a little bit of both, to your point.
Grace, what do you make of DJ Uiagalelei's performance?
I thought that DJ was solid, maybe not necessarily dominant. I mean, I just think that this is a guy that we know how capable he can be when he's really clicking. He has a huge arm. He's a really effective runner, but he hasn't been a guy that's been a super consistent, super accurate downfield passer, and I thought we saw that again in week 0. I don't know that they really cut him loose. He had obviously those two huge throws on 4th down when they were trying to mount their comeback, but other than that, I just kind of felt like they weren't ready to totally take him off the leash yet, and I was surprised that they didn't use him more as a runner. I mean, this is a guy who's 250 pounds, 6'4", one of the most effective running quarterbacks in the ACC. So I thought he was fine. I thought he played well, but I think they're going to need a little bit more out of him down the stretch.
You're tapped in with Game Night on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80. Harrison Stanford, Jonathan Zaslow, right here on Game Night, joined by Grace Rayner, the athletic college football writer. Part of the reason, Grace, why DJ Uiagalelei did not play at a high level, or at least many would think, is because of the defense constructed by Tyler Santucci, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, who came from Duke. I'm wondering if you think there are any other hires in the world of college football or the ACC that you think can have a really big impact on a team's offensive unit, defensive unit, or overall in general?